What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JBsports back again with another one. Got some news going down in the world of boxing. Boxing Scene is reporting that Danny Garcia will face Ivan Redkach on January 25th. It'll be on Showtime, live from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. As you know, this date was reserved for Errol Spence to defend his IBF and WBC belt against Danny Garcia. That was going to be a big pay-per-view fight on Fox, but due to the accident that Errol Spence that took place with Errol Spence, he's not going to be available until the summer of 2020. So they started looking for a replacement because Danny Garcia and his trainer and dad, Angel Garcia, was insisting on fighting in January because they had been, had a long layoff since the win over Adrian Granados. As he looked very, very, very impressive against Adrian Granados. Granted that Granados was coming up in weight from 140 to 147. It still was an impressive win because a lot of people thought that could be a kind of tricky fight for Danny, man, as Granados has lost a lot of close decisions to high-profile names, Adrian Broner, and fights of that ilk. And even after the Garcia fight, a lot of people thought he beat Robert Easter Jr. So he's known as the guy that gives those top-level names good, tough, hard fights. And in a lot of cases, in a lot of opinions, wins those fights. He fought Sean Porter, too, and gave Sean Porter probably one of his toughest fights of his career. But Danny looked very sharp in that fight as he was able to knock out Adrian Granados. Now he's got another guy coming up from 140 pounds, and Ivan Redkach. The guy's coming up. This will be his second time fighting at the welterweight limit of 147 as he defeated Devin Alexander, knocked him out in a very action-packed fight, a very good fight that was on Fox Sports 1. And that was the first time I seen anybody stop Devin Alexander. Devin Alexander is known for having a real solid chin, a decent boxer with underrated skills, but I think he was at a point of no return as far as his career goes, because I think he was past his prime when he fought Ivan Redkach. We gotta give Redkach credit because actually before that fight he fought Alexander. He fought Victor Ortiz. He fought him, and Victor Ortiz and him ended up going to a draw. But a lot of people, and me including, thought Devin Alexander beat Victor Ortiz. And then after that he fought Andre Berto in a very competitive fight. A lot of people thought Andre Berto was past his best days, but Andre Berto was able to win in a very highly competitive fight, beat Devin Alexander by split decision. So Devin going into that fight with Ivan Redkach, it didn't look like he was the same fight he was when he fought Timothy Bradley and Urango and the guys on that level, but he did look like he still was a decent welterweight that could give some of the top contenders a good fights. But he actually got knocked out in that fight. I don't know if it was because I said earlier, I think he was past his best days, but I don't know if it was past his best days or he just simply ran out of gas thinking that he was going to, go in there and dominate Ivan Redkach and get a early knockout and end up expending too much energy and end up getting stopped late in that fight. But it was very, very interesting, man. You had a guy like Ivan Redkach coming up from 140 and stopping a guy with a real good chin, known for having a real good chin, and Devin Alexander. You got to give Ivan Redkach a lot of credit for doing that, man. Whatever the situation was with Alexander, be it father time or, maybe underestimating Redkach or maybe spending too much energy in the first half of the fight, whatever the case was, that was an impressive win by Ivan Redkach. And now he gets a chance to step up and fight Danny Garcia as he's trained by Sugar Shane Mosley. So Sugar Shane Mosley did a good job of getting him ready and getting him prepared for the Devin Alexander fight. So a good opponent. A lot of people trying to say this is a BS fight. Why Danny fighting that? But considering what was out there, I think he was the best available opponent. I think it was down to him and Jose Cito Lopez. But I don't think Danny Garcia, his camp, wanted to fight Jose Cito Lopez, where they was talking about having that fight take place. They originally wanted the fight to take place in the Staples Center. That's where they were talking about maybe having that fight. And I don't think Danny wanted to fight Jose Cito Lopez basically in his backyard in L.A. Jose Cito Lopez is from a nearby Riverside, so he would have had a lot of fans, family, and friends at that fight. So they gave him it would have been a pro Lopez crowd, Mexican versus Puerto Rican in L.A. It would have been a pro Latino crowd. So I don't think they could agree to the location. So he's going to go instead fight Ivan Redkach, and it's basically in his second home of Brooklyn, New York, as Danny Garcia has had a lot of high-profile fights in Brooklyn, in the Barclays, and he'll be looking to put on another top-notch performance against Ivan Redkach. Now, you know, after they was talking about the Garcia-Spence fight that fell through, it was a couple of other opponents got mentioned that I never really took serious, but I heard through the grapevine that they was talking about maybe putting Danny Garcia versus Shawn Porter. I was like, nah. Danny is the #1 ranked mandatory for the Errol Spence's WBC belt. It's no way he's going to take a fight with Shawn Porter, a fight that he very well could lose in a very risky, tricky 50-50 type of fight, because the first fight was very close and competitive. Why would he take a chance and get beat by Shawn Porter and end up losing his #1 status? So this way, he's able to fight a guy that's, you know, coming off a good win over Alexander and Ivan Redkach. People can't really criticize it too much. You're always going to have haters out there, but they can't criticize it too much as a fight that, you know, kind of like as a stay busy fight for Danny, and you're fighting a guy that's, you know, that's got the credentials to be in a ring with you, not just some journeyman that you know you can pick apart. You know, between him, Ivan Redkach, and Jose Cito Lopez, they're two of them guys pretty much on the same level in my opinion. So either one of those guys would have been sufficient due to you know, in a keep busy fight for Danny until he gets his title shot at Errol. And I think this is what happens. So we'll see what happens, man. Now this puts another spin on things as far as Manny Pacquiao's next opponent. With Danny fighting in January, I don't think he'll be ready to fight again against Manny Pacquiao in April. That's the date they're looking for Manny Pacquiao's next fight. So I think the list goes down from 3 fighters to 2. Now that you take Danny out the equation, it's down to Mikey Garcia and Shawn Porter as the 2 likely opponents for Manny Pacquiao's next fight. Mikey Garcia is the leader in the clubhouse. He's the favorite, but don't count out Shawn Porter, man, and Kenny Porter. They're putting a lot of leverage on PBC. They saying they want a big fight next. They don't want to just be fighting, you know, anybody. They don't want to be fighting the Jose Cito Lopez's or the you know, people of that ilk. They want high level. They want to be in another big fight. They got the taste of a big pay-per-view fight with Errol Spence. They want to stay on that level. So that's why they're putting a lot of pressure saying that they want, if they can't get the Errol Spence rematch, they want Terrence Crawford fight next if Terrence Crawford prevails this Saturday, which everybody expects him to do against the Mean Machine Eagles. So that's where we're at right now, man. This news is very important, and it's gonna make a difference on 2 fronts. Like I said, he's finally got an opponent, and then it affects the Manny Pacquiao sweepstakes, as I stated just a few seconds ago. It's down to Mikey Garcia and Shawn Porter now that Danny's fighting in January against Ivan Redkach. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what transpires. Ivan Redkach's record is 23-4-1, 1 no contest. Danny Garcia's record is 35-2, and about 21 knockouts. So, you know, you look at Redkach's record, it's not nothing not nothing great to write home about, but you know, based on his last win, you know, if he could put on that type of performance against Danny Garcia, it should be a very interesting fight. As I think when he was at lightweight, Ivan Redkach, he was knocked out by Zictertan. That's the guy that got knocked out in highlight reel fashion by Mikey Garcia at lightweight. Ziggy knocked him out. He knocked out Ivan Redkach, and then at junior welterweight, he was knocked out by John Molina Jr. So he's been knocked out before, but he's got a new trainer, Sugar Shane Mosley. He seems like he's been implementing a new style that's working for Ivan right now, and he looked very good against Ivan Redkach, man. So maybe fighting at 140, he was weight drained, and it kind of hurt his power, because he showed good power in his fight at 147 against Devin Alexander. Again, I stated that he's known as a guy. I mean, Alexander, that is known as a guy that has a very, very good chin. So for him to knock him out, that shows that this guy has nothing to play with, man. This guy has to be taken seriously. So I know Danny, coming off the performance over Adrian Granados, is going to be looking to make another statement win and keep his name in the mix as far as the top welterweights in boxing right now. And he'll be looking to put on a show, man, in the second home at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. But that's what we got going down, man. It's the breaking news, man. Danny Garcia versus Ivan Redkach, January 25th, Barclays Center, Brooklyn, New York. The Borough, Brooklyn, New York, is going down. This is JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. I holla.